The water was warm that night. That's what survivors remembered most. Not the terror, not the darkness, but how warm the Pacific felt as it closed over the deck of the USS Indianapolis. Warm water. And blood in the water draws sharks from miles away. It was July 30th, 1945. 4 days earlier, the Indianapolis had completed a secret mission unlike any other in naval history. She had delivered components for the atomic bomb that would soon fall on Hiroshima, racing across the Pacific faster than almost any ship in the fleet. Her captain, Charles McVeigh, had no idea what was inside the crates his men guarded so carefully. He only knew it was urgent. Mission complete, the ship turned toward the Philippines, unescorted, sailing alone through waters the Navy considered safe. They were wrong. Just after midnight, a Japanese submarine locked on to the Indianapolis and fired 2 torpedoes. The explosions tore the bow apart and ignited a fuel tank, splitting the ship almost in half. In just 12 minutes, barely enough time to process what was happening, the Indianapolis rolled over and sank. Nearly 900 of the 1,100 men aboard made it into the water alive. They believed help was coming. It wasn't. Because of wartime secrecy surrounding the mission, no one had reported the Indianapolis missing. There was no search, no rescue ship racing to the coordinates. Just hundreds of men, some injured, some without life jackets, floating in open ocean, and drifting toward them, drawn by blood and vibration, were oceanic white-tip sharks. For 4 days and 5 nights, the sailors endured what is still considered the worst shark attack in recorded history. The sharks came at dawn and at dusk, when the light was low and the men were easiest to see from below. Survivors described watching friends disappear beneath the surface with a scream and a splash, and then silence. Men slipped in and out of consciousness. Salt water poisoning caused hallucinations. Some drank seawater despite knowing it would kill them, driven mad for thirst. Groups of survivors tried to stay together, forming tight circles, pushing the weakest toward the center, taking turns as the shark's next possible target. Nobody was coming. Nobody knew they were out there at all. It was pure chance that saved them. On the morning of August 2nd, a Navy pilot named Wilbur Gwynn was flying a routine patrol when he spotted something strange in the water below. An oil slick, and then, unmistakably, men. Dozens of them. He radioed it in immediately, and within hours, planes and ships were racing toward the wreckage site. A seaplane piloted by Lieutenant Adrian Marks defied protocol, landing directly on the open ocean to begin pulling survivors from the water before the rescue ships could even arrive. By the time the rescue was complete, only 316 men remained alive. Nearly 600 sailors had died in the water, most of them not from the initial attack, but from exposure, dehydration, and the sharks that hunted them relentlessly for 4 unbearable days. The tragedy didn't end there. Captain McVeigh, one of the survivors, was court-martialed for failing to zigzag his ship to avoid torpedoes, a decision many considered unjust given that the Navy itself had failed to warn him a submarine was in the area. He carried the guilt of his crew's deaths for the rest of his life. In 1968, he took his own life. It would take decades and the persistent efforts of surviving crew members and even a 6th-grade student researching the case before Congress finally exonerated him in the year 2000. Today, the wreck of the USS Indianapolis rests more than 3 miles beneath the Pacific, undisturbed since researchers finally located it in 2017, 72 years since she vanished from the surface of the sea. She delivered the weapon that helped end a world war, and in return, the ocean nearly erased every trace that she or the men who sailed her had ever existed at all.